Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have any additions to the agenda? Jim?
Shelley and I met with the Public Utilities Commission. And the goal of the meeting was to set up a next meeting where people can get involved. This is Great River Hydro and the solar array. And so they left the meeting with an agenda to sometime at the end of November, and we might be close to a date now. They're gonna have a public meeting. We volunteered the Governor Unhouse for that. And they're going, Public Utilities Commission and probably A&R is gonna ask the people in town, you know, what they think of the project and stuff like that. It was Shelley and I against 6 Great River Hydro lawyers. We held our own, people.
So we don't have a date on that yet?
No,
Okay.
24th or 25th is what
Yeah,
it's sounding like.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else?
Yes, I have one budget that we need to add for general expenses.
General expenses?
Yeah, it was not on the schedule.
Gene, you're just in time.
I know, how was that like?
Actually, public comment for items not on the agenda.
Oh, you already started?
Mary Lynn?
I hope I have my dates correct. I think it was September 16th. I commented on the minutes from the previous meeting. And there was supposed to, those were tabled, and there was supposed to have been some research done on it. I heard nothing on that, and at the last meeting, those minutes were approved as written. And I heard nothing on what that research of those minutes was done. I sent an email out regarding that. I received no answer from anyone about that. And also as to why I was asked to come to the last select board meeting. When I was asked to come, I was not given a reason. And I did not appreciate being sandbagged to come. So I would like answers to those questions. Doesn't have to be here, but I received no response to my email from anyone. Well, I did, but it wasn't an answer to the question.
Okay. So are you asking us to re-amend the minutes from the September 16th meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
the research was supposed to have been done. and
So
nothing
can
was
you, it might be
done.
easier if you just tell us what we missed or what we did wrong? How you would like them amended?
The minutes and the video do not match.
Okay, well, I think we'd be willing to be open, if you just tell us.
But I heard
What we're
nothing
missing.
about, it was supposed to be checked. I heard nothing, no response. I didn't hear that anybody looked at those, included me in that. I heard nothing.
Okay, I think it was just overlooked, so you probably could make an adjustment if you think it needs to be done.
The video is the actual minutes. The minutes are the select board minutes. The recording is the record.
Okay, it doesn't match this.
It does, it's generalized. It has all the motions, and that's what's important. It's up to the select board if they want to make changes. I did add you to the attendees list as requested. That change was made.
Yeah, Gene, you're the clerk.
So is this regarding the issue of not being a department head.
I never said I was a department head, I said I was included in the meetings.
They're department head meetings.
Correct.
But you did in that meeting say that you had a department and that your department
I'm a
was.
department one, but I never said I was a department head. I said I've always
You're not
been
even a department.
included in the meetings.
You're an
so to
elected
speak.
official. But, so
That's
it was
semantics.
said, it was said that it was somewhere along the line, the select board made a decision, whatever, which I don't ever remember happening, but as an elected official, you don't have a department?
But I've always been included in those meetings. And I don't get information if I don't attend.
But the information that goes out is employee related.
Not necessarily.
Budgets, scheduling, insurance issues, and you don't do any of those.
If it was applicable, you would have been added. It's about health insurance,
Well,
sorry.
other
So-
times it has been. I don't wanna argue the point.
The thing is, and yes, as you stated, you have to follow the employee manual. And you also are supposed to sign off as an elected official that you will agree to follow that manual as an elected official, not as a town employee or department head or anything else like that. So all elected officials are actually supposed to follow the employee manual because it does deal with a lot of issues, harassment, equality, all kinds of issues that we need to be aware of. So I'm thinking that you were waiting for an answer as to when the select board said that you were not a department head or such, or, but I don't ever remember that happening myself. I
I
just.
don't either, but that's what I was told.
Well, there's no proof, I guess, that that happened. However, that doesn't mean that you're a department head coming
I
to
said I
department
was a
head
department
meetings.
head.
But it's a
I said
department
I
head
was
meeting.
included in the meetings.
So I think as a board, we need to decide who's included in the meetings going forward and, set that
That's
as,
fine, I don't
set
need
that
to
as
go.
policy.
I don't need to go, I was just asking a question, and it's clear. But I never said I was a department head. I just said I was included in the department head meetings previously. And asked when the select board made that decision. And apparently they never make that decision.
So that, to me, is not really a select board decision, because that is within the employees. And, it was before we had a town administrator and HR person, it was the treasurer doing it. So it was more, and it was a meeting.
Previous
So
town
I think we need
administrators-
to move on. I think, this is supposed to be limited to 3 minutes,
Yep.
and this is supposed to be about a conversation about the agenda, and we've moved on.
And I-
Marilyn, if you want to have it added to another agenda to bring it up,
I said I
we
was
can do
good.
that,
I
but,
said it was good, and I
Alright.
just didn't appreciate, also
Alright.
didn't appreciate being sandbagged at being asked to come to the meeting without knowing, actually knowing why.
okay, thank you. Approval of the minutes, approval of the regular meeting minutes of October 21st.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the regular meeting minutes of October 21st, 2025.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Move on to the warrants.
Yes, I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 12T accounts payable, $59,475.64. 42S payroll, $9,817.95. And 43S payroll, $9,708.01.
Do we have a second?
Second.
there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, new business, we have the cemetery committee recommendation to increase the price of plots.
Okay, so currently we're charging, I think it's new grave sites are $150 per site. And we're only charging, I think it's $200 for corner markers, but that might have been brought up to market value. Upon doing a little research, Heidi found, she came up with the pricing for 5 towns, and I called around and I have 3. Meeting House Cemetery in Brattleboro is $700 plus per plot plus corner markers. The town of Brattleboro is typically $775 per plot, and then $400 for each adjacent plot that includes the cost of the corner markers. The town of Ripton charges $500 plus $200 for the corner markers, but they're kind of out there. The town of Calais, $700 for residents, $1,700 for non-residents. The town of Walcott is $525 plus, which includes corner markers. Putney, I did Putney, Westminster, and Bernston because those are the most current recent towns that I could get to sort of call me back. Putney, they do things a little bit differently. They're $800 for a whole plot. You could buy a half plot for $650. A whole plot is a 10 by 10. Half plot is 5 by 10. And they allow 8 urns per lot, which is really high. That's a lot of urns per lot. And then they charge $375 for corner markers, but they are in the process of reevaluating their pricing, I was told. So that's likely to go up a little bit because they do allow so much per small plot. Westminster does $800 a plot and then $200 for corner markers. Bernston is a little different. They're a corporation technically. Their 3 by 8 plots are $600, but they also do it a little differently because they allow 1 burial and 2 cremations per lot. But anything after the first burial, they have additional fees for. So it's not just 600, it kind of adds the more people you add per plot. So the Vernon Cemetery Committee talked about what an appropriate pricing should be for Vernon, and we really didn't love the idea of charging non-residents more money or less money to somebody else because a lot of people, for example, a good longtime friend of my mother's, Peter Popowitz, he lives in California, but he grew up here. He has fond memories of Vernon and wants to be buried here. And it just didn't feel right to charge him more versus a town resident that happens to be living here. So what we came up with, but we also felt like we're the town of Vernon and we should charge appropriate to our population. So what we came up with was $600 plus market value for corner markers. Corner markers are currently $375. However, Dan from Abiotti kind of indicated that pricing for the corner markers has been the same price for 10 years or so. So he didn't say that they were gonna go up, but he didn't seem to say that he was making any money either at it. So by doing something like market value, it covers the cost regardless of what happens. So that's what we thought would be fair and reasonable for the new pricing, which is indeed quite a jump from where we are currently.
We have a non-resident rate.
We talked about it, it just sort of didn't feel right to us to charge.
We do have one though,
Oh, we do?
yes, it's $500.
500 for, okay, because I didn't have that written down. 500 non-resident. That's what the cemetery committee thought, 600 for anyone looking to buy a plot was reasonable and not charging different rates for different populations. So that's what we were told, that we had to come to the select board to ask for this. Currently we were losing money, and I think that Heidi has since sort of recovered a little bit and is able to charge market value for, I think, the corner markers. But the cemeteries do need money. We're not doing very good. So, we're here.
This has to go to town meeting next.
Yeah.
It has to go to
Jim?
town
It has to
meeting.
go to town meeting.
Oh, an article in town meeting.
Would it be $600 plus the 500 if you're a non-resident?
We're just proposing 600, no matter what.
Okay,
600, but we don't allow 8 urns per. It includes how, I think it's one body and two urns, but we don't wanna charge extra per body. It's just,
For
it's
three.
600, that's
For
600.
3 urns.
Yeah,
You probably said it already. Where are we right now? What's it?
150.
Which is really ridiculous.
But to be fair, when I talked to the lady who's head of the corporation for Vernon, they were where we were 3 years ago. She just barely raised their rates 3 years ago to 600. They're in a similar situation. They seem the most like us around.
Mary Lynn?
So the last time that rates were changed, when we added the plus cornerstones, it was an article at town meeting.
Okay.
We did wonder if we needed to start that process or not and how to go about it.
So I don't know the answer whether it needs to be through town meeting. Shelley, you're saying it does need to be via town meeting?
And I can get that verbiage from the LCT, the
Okay.
article.
Okay, so we write an article with what we're proposing? Okay. Okay.
We'll include that. Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Sansoucy Associates Utility Assessment and Consultation Contract. Is that you, Shelley?
Yeah, so every year we sign a contract with them for utilities. We don't have typically like a 3-year contract. So this is just for the utilities that they would be assessing and consulting on should it go to litigation.
So we have gone to litigation. Do we feel like we're getting anywhere? Do we feel like I just feel like, is there any value in
It's a vicious
this?
cycle.
It just seems like a vicious cycle and a lot of money for it.
It is, but they do a really good job for us. So, we're gonna continue to hold our assessments and continue to collect that revenue with these utilities, we're gonna need to have them in place. And they do give us a decent discount because we use them for all of our utilities.
did they increase their price?
I
No.
don't think so.
No, it was the same as last contract.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's holding. Yeah, it looks to be the same as it was the last year.
What do you think, Gene?
Go for it.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a proposal that we sign the contract with Sansoucy and Associates for evaluation of Great River Hydro. Do they do anything else?
Yes, they
This
do
contract.
Velcro.
Yeah,
Belco? Yeah.
This is for Great River and Belco.
Velcro.
And in negotiations for the town, for these other utilities.
Second.
So a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Do we need to sign that
Yeah,
tonight,
I'll
Shelley?
pass this one. I think that's too much staples. I'll pass this one to the teachers. Actually, I'll send it to the witness.
So the BCTV fiscal year 26-27 contract.
Yes, and it has not gone up. This is our yearly contract,
2 in a row that haven't gone up. Wow.
considering the services they provide.
Doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Not going to the numbers I'm going
So it's straightforward, Shelley, same service as last year, same
services,
price.
Same price.
I would entertain a motion. Dean?
I move that we sign our contract with BCTV for recording of select board meetings and town meeting for FY 26-27 for $2,400.
Second?
A motion in a second. Is there any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Windham Solid Waste Management District Rep appointment. Jim Pinkerton.
Yes. Sandra Rule, which is doing that for quite a while, and she's moved to Pennsylvania, where her family's from. I've been attending as an alternate for quite a while, and I don't mind taking over for that if the board wants to appoint me to that.
Do we need an alternate? Is that part of the deal with them as well?
If I was, not gonna be on much longer, I'd like to have an alternate for a while, but there's no gain to have, alternate just sits there and enjoys the meeting, if you're so inclined.
Okay.
So no, I don't think we need an alternate.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to,
Oh, yeah.
we'd welcome it.
And any alternates out there after the meetings, we usually go out for a coffee and donut and solve the world's problems. So if you're interested in something
you
like
go.
that,
There you go.
Are you paying?
Jean?
I move that we appoint Jim Pinkerton Jr. to the, to be Vernon representative to the Windham Solid Waste Management District.
Second.
A motion in a second. I don't think we need a whole lot of discussion on this one, so all in favor just signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Don't
I would abstain from that.
Remove yourself.
Thank you, Jim.
No problem.
Governor Hunt House event advertisement in town hall and town meeting.
Beth, is the one that asked about this. She's the president of the Friends of Vernon Center. And she was just asking if there could be a display in the hallway at town meeting. And the handout that's referred to in here, I think, was just for information for the articles that are gonna be in
Okay. So, like a long term, like what are you thinking in town hall? Do you know what they're thinking?
No, I think that just came up for voting day maybe.
Okay.
Just to have at the, but I'm speaking for Beth, she's not here, obviously.
Board?
I don't see a problem having an advertisement for them. Do we need a motion for this?
Well, select board controls the building, put it that way.
Okay, then I'd make a motion that we allow the Friends of the Vernon Center to advertise Governor Hunt House events in the town hall lobby, excuse me.
In the town meeting.
And it looks like they wanna have something to give out at town meeting also.
And handouts, and handouts at the town meeting. Sure.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Comp time policy. I think we need executive session for that one, Jim.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion, we go in executive session for labor relations agreements with employees. And I'd like to include the town administrator and who else?
Rec.
Department. Seth.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are in executive session at 6:53. Exited executive session at 7:20 and no action was taken. We'll move on to the town administrator report.
Okay, our auditing firm has submitted a representation letter for the acceptance of the draft audit and financial statements. A signature is gonna be needed, from the chair to accept it, and, then they will print off the, annual audit for 2024. 2026 municipal planning grant has been submitted. I also submitted the community development block grant on behalf of Vernon Green. That was done on Monday. So both of those have been submitted. A brief update on the FEMA firefighter assistance grant for the fire truck. The application that should have been available the first of the month is not available due to the government shutdown, and I'm hoping that this is just going to be a delay in this opportunity for funding. All budgets have been received, and although we haven't reviewed them all, an overall increase from last year's budget is just under 1.2% overall. So, I think that's pretty good. And the proposed salary increases for, I think we had all of 5 employees that needed a slight increase. That was my recommendation, to bring them up to where they should be. Is the impact to the budget would be less than 1/3 of 1%. And that's all I have.
So, just move on to the budgets. We'll start with rec department. Seth?
Right. So I guess I'm here to talk about our proposed 26-27 budget. I believe I'm also here to talk about funding for the pool filtration project, or repairs, I guess. Why don't I start with that, I guess? Does that seem reasonable to you guys?
Sure.
All right. So prior to opening this past summer, we had some challenges with the pool motor. We've talked about that. I came to you guys with a solution, what the repairs were gonna cost, essentially $7,000, which you approved to spend from the emergency repairs and maintenance funds, which is essentially anything that is less than $10,000 can come from that fund. We moved forward with that project, purchasing a new, installing a backup motor to the pool, purchasing a new motor that was to be installed in the fall or once the pool was closed. So we spent that $7,000. We incurred additional expenses of $2,662.26 based on a service call, as well as additional repairs needed on the install in the fall of the new motor. There was additional work that was discovered that needed to be done that the company outlined for us. That work has already taken place. We've paid for that out of the FY Department Repairs and Maintenance Fund. That's not in, I don't have $2,600 in our budget for that, but we have to obviously pay our bills as they come in. Additionally, we have discovered a air leak on the suction side of the back, on the motor, the pump, excuse me, that will cost between $300 and $4,500 to repair. That work is partially completed, basically just diagnosed. Things have been taken apart and diagnosed at this time. So the bottom line is, all in, including the $7,000 we've already spent for the repairs and maintenance fund, we're looking at a total of $12,662 to $14,162 to complete everything, be back up and running, ready to go. My thought, and I have talked with Shelley about this and Kathy, is that if we are able to access the Emergency Capital Reserve Fund, which is a different fund than the Emergency Repairs and Maintenance Fund, the Emergency Capital Reserve Fund is for expenses over $10,000. Right now, there is $62,000 available in that fund, plus another $1.2 million that is in that fund in investments. What we would essentially do is any monies that were taking place from last fiscal year that we spent out of the original 7,000, we cannot go back and reimburse that money. That is a done deal, the fiscal year is closed. So of the 7,000, $1,800 of that was from last fiscal year. That's done, that's gone. If we make the decision to use the emergency capital reserve fund over $10,000, we can go back and we can put we can put the difference between the 7,000 and the 1,800 from last fiscal year. We can replace that money, $5,100. This is a little wordy, I know. We can replace that money, put it back into the emergency repairs fund. We could replace the money that is spent out of the rec budget, the fiscal year budget, the $2,600, put that back in our budget that was not budgeted, but we had to pay the bill. We could then move forward with the additional 3,000 to 4,500 repairs, essentially making, spending $10,785 to $12,285 from the emergency capital reserve fund, which has to be $10,000 to utilize. It's a lot of words mixed in there and a lot of numbers. Essentially what we're trying to do is just use the $10,000 from the emergency capital reserve fund. That's a bigger fund. Reimburse the funds that we've already spent, the smaller funds, and complete the project.
What would that leave you after to put back into the emergency repair and maintenance fund?
We would be putting back in $5,123.47 into the emergency repairs and maintenance fund.
All right, but it has a negative balance now, or is it's gonna come out to 5,000?
So the emergency repairs and maintenance fund is the fund that the town maintains throughout the year. It's like $20,000 or something like that.
Yep.
I don't know what the current balance is of that.
23,107.
It's got 23,000 in it, so we'll be putting $5,100 back into that.
Unless the board decides to spend more on that, or however it was supposed to be for expenses under 10,000.
Right, it would have to be. And then we would also reimburse the rec budget $2,600. And we would just utilize one larger fund for emergency repairs.
And
Capital.
they can do that. She can move the money around like that.
It's my understanding that she can.
I think she may be able to reimburse that fund if.
And that, that would go into the emergency repair for the rec fund, that $2,600.
That would go back into just repairs and maintenance.
All right.
Yes, just regular, the rec department
Yep.
fiscal budget, repairs and maintenance.
Right, makes sense. Does that keep it over $10,000?
It does, it would be 10.7 to 12.2.
Okay.
Yep.
What's the condition of the pool in general, Seth? I have no clue. Is it, are we gonna, do we need is this a bigger picture
Well,
topic or what?
This is purely the filtration system.
Yep.
The pool itself is, if you looked at it in May, you would cringe. Geez, I can't believe this thing is even gonna open. But it's just what it looks like in May. We power wash it, we patch it, we paint it every year, and it looks new. What we did a couple of years ago is we replaced the gasket on the pool deck where the joint where the deck hits the pool.
Okay.
And just replacing that has been a huge help. And it's kept a lot of water out in the winter so a lot of ice damage that we would normally have. The amount of patching has decreased dramatically by doing that. I mean, hard to predict the future. I would say for a 60-year-old pool, or it's probably in as good a shape as you could possibly expect. The actual concrete around the pool deck, we did patch all the, we went through and did expansion joint repairs on all those this past fall as well. And again, in an effort to reduce the amount of water that gets in there. I'm not sure I can, tell you what's gonna happen in 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, there's a shelf life for everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's in as good a shape as you can expect something that old to be in. That's
Yeah.
the best way I can word that, I guess.
Okay. Is it, so this filtration system, is this like a major component? I mean, are we gonna need 20 grand next year for something else, you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I would-
I understand you can't predict the future,
I
but
mean, from a
mechanically,
filtration
is this a
system,
major component of the pool, I'm
This is
assuming?
huge.
Yeah.
This is,
Okay.
this is very significant,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. If we move forward with all of this, essentially everything other than the pump itself would be almost new. The motor's new, the piping to it would be new, the valves in there were replaced, the steel valves were replaced with PVC valves within the last 10 years. So that stuff is fairly new. The filter grids, we've replaced filter grids periodically. We usually budget for a new one every year. There's 14 of those. They're $1,500 a pop. We usually do one of those a year to try to one or two a year to keep those from, failing all at once. It would be my opinion that if we move forward with this, that the filtration system itself would be in a very good place for an extended period of time.
Well, do we need a motion to do that?
You would need a motion to authorize the use of the Emergency Capital Reserve Fund.
Okay, but does it also have to go through all of the nuances of where we're gonna put it and how we're gonna put it? Or do we just authorize them, the rec department, to use money from the emergency repair fund?
You can authorize it, however, I do recommend that you, in that motion, reimburse the previous fund that it was taken from.
Yep.
So authorize up to $12,285.73 from the Emergency Capital Reserve Fund would be the request.
12,283?
285.73. I did say 283. 285.73.
73. So $12,285.73.
Correct. With previous money spent to be reimbursed into those, to be returned to their accounts.
I don't know if I can say previous money.
An amount.
Probably not.
Probably an
Emergency
amount would be,
Yeah.
You probably need to give the name of the fund, emergency repair and replace.
It was 2,600 for the rec
Yeah.
fund repair and maintenance.
And then 5123 from the emergency repairs and maintenance. 56.
Gene, do you remember the last time we may have dug into this fund or used this fund? I don't remember a time when we have.
Probably me.
It's been a while.
Sorry.
I think it was. The other thing with this fund is if whatever you take out, there needs to be put back in. So you can't just spend this fund down. So all amounts so expended shall be replenished through an article presented to the next annual town meeting.
So what if it doesn't pass? So be it.
It comes out of.
Do you want me to get more information? I know, cause it's getting more complicated, I've never.
We
been
did,
present for these
because this, see, I was the whistleblower on this one. This used to was getting used all the time and I didn't really understand it, and then I read and I go, you're supposed to replace that money, not just keep spending it. And so it has gone that way, that it's gotten replaced.
Not crucial. I mean, we need to have it done by, some of it's already half done, but it can just take place by next summer essentially.
But the thing of this fund is for like emergency. It's something that you didn't foresee, it couldn't be put into the capital plan because you just didn't know.
Right, which is what took place here, yeah.
Right, so to me, it fits.
Yeah.
But you just have to replace what you take out. Page 7. So that's the other part of it, is that you need to be sure there's an article.
Yes, in the,
If the expenditure is over $100,000,
yeah,
then you can vote to do it over years to replace it. Just so you know.
well, I'm glad to know that.
On a capital plan, like,
On the emergency capital reserve fund. Like if you had a real major,
like a roof or something. it's-
yeah,
So I guess in theory then, if you didn't want to move forward with adding an article, you could authorize additional monies from the emergency repairs and maintenance fund. That's the one that has to be under 10,000. That we've already spent the 7 out of.
that's a line item in our budget, right? No.
No.
It's got 23,000 in it
No,
right now.
It's its own fund. It's $23,107.12.
So I see the emergency, where's the one you're talking about?
Emergency, I know, the other
Page
one,
7.
that,
Page 7 has the emergency.
that's the emergency one that he was trying to get the 12,000 out of. But I don't even know where the other one is in here. So now we're on to,
I gave you all a printout with the balance from Kathy today.
I'm sure it's on.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Trying to make sure that I have accurate figures. It's taken a little while to get everything updated with interest.
So
So you could potentially,
where is this fund? It's not, there
Yeah,
is
yeah, that's my
nothing
question.
written when writing up the funds here, there's nothing. That's ambulance, dog, that's. I just haven't been able to find it.
so here's what that would look like from a numbers perspective. We've already spent 7,000 from the emergency repairs and maintenance fund that has the 23,000 in it that we're still looking for, but we believe is there somewhere. We could authorize additional monies from that fund, which would total either up to 5,600 to 7,100, which that would essentially replace the money in the rec budget, the 2,600, and it would make the additional $300 to $4,500 repair that's needed. And we would not be going back and reimbursing anything in that fund at all, just to make things more confusing.
So Seth, you're at, how much is the total including the 7 that we have spent?
We've spent,
What's the total for
90
this project?
the total is 14,162.26 at most.
And we've taken 7,000 out of the, that emergency repair fund.
And 2,600 from the rec budget.
But you need that
So we
back.
need to so you're asking us, to come up with basically $7,162.
Yep. I mean, we can table this just so we're not holding everybody up here, if that seems to make, and do a little bit more research. It's not as if we have to make this decision tonight.
Right.
Yeah, I think we should table it.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
because I'm not understanding where this is.
I know,
Yeah.
looking at the comparative fund balance
Um,
worksheet.
I mean, obviously we want to fund it, we just want to do it the right way.
Right, yeah, exactly, what makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay,
So Shelley, you can get us some information on the over 10,000 emergency fund?
Yeah.
Or the under, I
Or the
guess,
under.
Gene. The under,
yeah,
maybe both.
all right. Can we hop into my budget now, since there's other people that need to present as well, and I'm holding them up and. All right, so I guess looking at our proposed 26-27 budget, I think it's important that when we look at this, we always look at the revenue generated, how that offsets expense, which our revenue this past year was exceptionally strong. It's increased significantly in recent years. We anticipate it, being well over $200,000 again. We're actually going to use an estimated figure of 205, even though we've generated a fair amount more than that. Being slightly conservative in your estimated revenue, I think is more valuable. If you miss it by 1 cent, you're gonna know, you're gonna hear. So we're gonna say 205 is gonna be our estimated revenue. It's also important to look at what we feel as a department are controllable expenses and what are not controllable per se. Essentially salaries and insurances are something that the department doesn't control. Those numbers are given to us. I will say seasonal salaries are slightly different in that we do control the number of seasonal staff that we hire. The state of Vermont this year has a proposal to increase the minimum wage by $4.59 an hour. They have not made the decision to do that yet, but it is a proposal that is gaining traction. Typically, the state of Vermont has given us the number already of what minimum wage will be for next year, and they have not done so. So from a budgeting standpoint, that's pretty challenging. In talking with Shelley and the Recreation Board, we felt as though it made sense, or at least it was prudent from a budgetary standpoint, to budget the $4.59 increase per hour at this time, which is essentially $19,400 in just seasonal staff increases, which is a pretty significant increase. Our budget also includes the additional supervisor time that we discussed previously. Other than that, the increases are fairly minimal. $100 here, $100 there in terms of some supplies that are increasing for different programs. Porta potty expenses were up by, I think, $500 for the year. We did budget in terms of controllable expenses that are, I would say, significant for our department. A way to close the pool, the recreation area, should we have a desire to do so. Instead of having a big gate, we talked about 2 granite posts with a large chain across and some stones placed across the front, that when it's time to close for the fall, we can close for the fall. But yet, if the fire department needed to get in there, they could get in there very easily still. But it is something that I think we need to be able to do. So we did budget $2,000 for that. We also budgeted $3,000 to have some ash trees removed at the pool that are dead, essentially. So those are kind of the controllable expense increases, the gate and the trees. Essentially, every other increase is either a salary increase or just utility costs are increased as well. So bottom line, our budget will show an increase of $33,000. Once you factor in the additional $5,000 in revenue, our budget shows a $28,567, I think is what it is, or 217.22 as the actual increase in cost to the taxpayers.
Seth, do you feel like your seasonal help is making a decent wage without this minimum wage increase if it happens?
I think in recent years we've done a better job with that. It was frozen for a long time when everybody just got minimum wage, and we add essentially what we do each summer is you get a quarter raise increase for every year that you've been with us. I don't think that we're at the top of the pay scale in terms of seasonal recreation facilities, but we're higher than some.
Okay.
I don't feel as though we have, I think that we are able to be fully staffed. Very rarely does it come up that they're not making enough.
Okay.
It does come up, but not too frequently.
So,
Mhm.
Department of Labor has announced what the increases are. beginning January 1st, minimum wage will go from $14.01 to $14.42.
So they just announced this.
So it's a 41-cent increase.
Okay.
This is dated October 6th for immediate needs.
I don't think they released it on October 6th.
Now we look.
We've been looking for that right up until like last week.
Okay, I just Googled it and
Huh.
it's all,
So what was it?
so it's now $14.42.
Okay,
So it's just a 41 cents an hour
all
increase.
right, that's more reasonable.
Yeah, they always wanna go like that, they never get it. They never get what they
So I'll adjust those numbers and get information back to Shelley. Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seth, what's the programs category?
That includes basically softball, baseball league fees. That's our after-school program expense. So that's our season, our after-school program staff. That's a big chunk of it. That's like 18,000 of it. The programming where if you wanted to run a program with us, Jim, and whatever the program was, and you would receive 85% of the revenue, it would come out of that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So for after school, you have an actual for last fiscal year, but, so there's actuals, but you never actually budget that separately.
No, that's always been something that I have always just included in programs, and then but
Yeah.
it shows on the spreadsheet sometimes differently.
It shows as what it actually cost you
Yeah.
apparently.
And that is,
But some of this is reimbursed. There's income against some of these programs.
oh, there's huge income against
Yeah.
it. You still have to just show the expense. Yeah.
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 Any other questions?
Good.
Yeah, so we'll make the adjustment to
Yep.
the salaries and
Yep. Well, I'll get those back to Shelley and Kathy. My board will be excited to hear that as well. Thanks, guys.
thank you, Seth.
Thank you.
Have a good night. Take it easy.
Take care,
Oh,
Seth.
God.
I'm real interested in how that money is gonna be allocated for that pump. So when you're doing that, give me a whistle, will you? I'd like to come by and
For
trace those numbers. Because we're gonna be moving money from several different accounts.
It should just be between the two.
You think it'll just be between the two?
I don't know.
That's what I'm,
Yeah, we can have a
should
conversation.
be interesting.
Well, I just know I go through in the library, it's like, this doesn't seem like this should be so challenging, but.
It's not authorized for library stuff, though.
No, I know, but, so this kind of moving is like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it.
Fire department.
So, I don't think there's anything too drastic in the budget. There were some things, just looking at previous years we haven't expended, so we moved some items down just to keep the lines open so that we can use them. I guess I don't know if you guys have my notes, but the big thing that I want to get nailed down is this fire pond maintenance. I know I've been working with Shelley quite a bit on the pond down at the post office, especially, but also Huckle Hill and Newton Road, and just trying to get those cleaned up so that they're more serviceable. We're working on a landowner agreement with the post office. I don't think we've heard anything back from her yet.
No, and I'm thinking of putting it in the mail to her at this point. I might make another phone call. But I know that she did lose her home to a forest fire. And so she's a little bit displaced, and I
So
will
that-
reach out to her again.
So probably once she catches wind of that, it would probably be
Should-
a project she'd want to be on board with, especially since she has
Oh
property
yeah,
there.
she's in
So-
agreement to sign that and give us authority, the
Yeah.
authorization for you to move forward.
So I don't know, we put out some RFPs for that work. I don't know what it's gonna end up costing for the dredging and stuff there, but there's also some grant programs available for it. I think they cover 75%. So I don't know if it's more prudent to set up a fund for this, or if we should continue including it as a budget item. I just know what we've been carrying isn't really enough to do this work, and so I'm not sure what the best path to proceed is. I wish I had numbers to present, but I think we've put it out a couple times, and we just haven't gotten any responses with any numbers back yet. So.
Do you happen to know how much it cost last time?
I don't.
Okay,
Because that was prior to,
probably a while back.
yeah.
Okay, I couldn't find any information myself to try to
It's
better
been a long
understand.
time.
Yeah, I think
I know some work was done, but it was several years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be done cyclical. It needs to be routine.
So the
Going fast.
advantage of having a fund is that you don't have to, you won't zero out every year. Because if you don't
Right.
come and ask for this to be carried, it's gonna zero out.
Right. And I think we should have enough in there so that we can, if we put it out to bid, we have enough to
Get the job done.
get the job done. I think with the grant availability, I think if we can do that program again, we used it for down at the Dunkley Farm.
Yeah.
They used it at Blodgett's. It's been used a few times and it's been helpful.
Yeah.
That could significantly cut the cost down, and maybe we get a couple of them done.
So, yeah, I mean, it seems like it would make sense just so that you can have that money there still.
Yeah.
You know, because you missed that deadline of asking for it to be carried and it's gone. And it is, I mean, it kind of lends itself to that because it's kind
It
of an
does.
ongoing thing that needs to be taken care of, so.
And I think the other piece of it too is that the way the budget cycle falls, it's right in the middle of the construction season.
It really is.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, off the wall question for you. Is any of the dredging gonna affect the Newton Brook?
not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay, that one, the pond you got on Newton Road, that's not anywhere near Newton Brook?
Oh, no, that's a standalone pond,
That's what I thought, yeah.
across from Kerry Tyler's.
Okay,
Oh,
all right,
okay.
I know where you're at, yep. The concern is A&R's looking at Newton Brook like with a magnifying glass, so I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
heads up if you're anywhere near that.
Well, and that was why when we did when we put the dry hydrant in, that just all the work they put in through the farm with keeping the pastures away from the brook,
Yep,
and the way that pond keeps filling in, I have a feeling that down the road when a new culvert goes in there, that won't be a pond anymore.
Yep.
And it seemed like doing the dry hydrant where we did it was probably the best long term.
makes sense, yeah.
So, go ahead. Well, do we need a article at town meeting to establish a new fund would be my guess. How does that, yeah?
I think so. I'll look into that as well.
I mean, I would be on board with that. That sounds like a
I think it
really
makes
logical. I'm surprised there isn't one, honestly. That seems really logical.
critical
So-
work to get
Yeah.
done.
So with that, I guess I would just propose that we bring that line down to 0 in the budget.
Yeah.
And that the fund be established for that. And then the other thing I had a question on, so we do pool fills throughout the spring and summer. And there is some income generated from that, but it never shows up on my budget. And I don't know if it should be credited to my budget, or if it should show up on there, or I don't know where it goes, if it goes in the general fund, or I've never seen what that final number is. So.
My understanding was it went to the fire association.
No, there's money that's put in that goes towards the town, and it's always been, my understanding that it would be the town's money because we're using town equipment, we're burning town fuel, and it
That was kind
offsets
of a
the.
discussion one year.
So
I
it
think
has,
before you were on board.
so there has been people who have made separate donations to the association, but everything that's been coming in, unless it's, you know, we have a set fee, I think it's, I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, but there's a certain dollar amount per gallon that we charge, and that goes to the town, and I can get that information if you'd like it.
Yeah, check with Kathy to see if any
Well.
net revenues come through that office. She'd be able to.
Yeah, 'cause I
track
give the checks to her and
Oh.
the money to her, so.
it. Yeah, check with her. She could tell you.
Yeah,
if
it
we
goes
would
in
have
this
to-
blank incomes line.
Well, it should, but I
It's full
think,
and somewhere.
yeah,
How many pools do you fill a year out, just out of curiosity? Have
too
you-
many.
Really?
I don't know, it's been maybe 10, maybe
Okay.
less, I don't keep track of it, but. And then the other thing I don't know about, and I figured it a little high, but our Keen Mutual Aid dues, I figured a 5% increase, I don't think it'll be that much, but I know they're having troubles over there and that they're looking for a lot of upgrades, and kind of anticipating that it might be a little more out of line than what they've been in the past, so.
Yeah.
But other than that, I
Yeah.
think we're pretty well level funded, so.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Thank you. Listers. I don't see a lister with us tonight, shall I?
No, and they have, their budget as well as the backup paperwork, and their budget's gone down considerably.
Yes.
They don't have an awful lot to their budget. I don't know if you want to take the historic
Many
ones
people
first.
over there.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, Heather.
As the South Stool property, as long as the electricity and lawn care, is the same, we're good.
So the lawn care changed quite a bit?
Yeah, there's some part of the cemetery,
Yes, I know that you get the number from. It's the same.
yeah, so
Right.
they must have a, I don't know when their contract, they just did it.
They don't do a contract until later,
Wasn't it a split contract
it's
between
like
the two? Wasn't
double.
there something there that I was
They
kind of
do.
bugging us up?
and it's an odd time. It does not correspond with, budget season. It does not, it's not in alignment at all.
That's like doubling though. I mean, it was,
It's a new person, I believe, than it was.
well, the actuals for 24, 25. Isn't that don't we have the same one? Isn't this the second year with the new person?
Because I don't think they signed a contract
Think
until
so.
January.
I think it's the same person as, I don't know who it is, actually.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Wasn't it new this year or
Historians or
this?
listers now?
On the historians, cause the
Okay.
lawn care, they're under the contract as with the cemeteries, it's the same people. And I know there was a jump, but I thought that was a couple of years ago, I don't know,
It
maybe
was a
not.
couple of years ago.
So
Yeah.
the caretaking is that contract, is that correct, Gene? Under cemeteries, caretaking, I mean, obviously we have the historian's lawn care, but the caretaking, is that the general contract for the mowing of the cemeteries and the,
for the
Yes.
cemetery part.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they're asking for the same as last year.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So then your budget hasn't changed at all?
oh,
Cause
here's,
I think it
well, I
should
see
be
that
staying
they,
the same, cause it looks like you're asking for the same amount.
but I do
Go on
see they have historians lawn, 1,500.
Yep.
What's the others? It's all blank. Okay.
Questions?
So, did you say you're proposing the exact same figures again? Cause I just have blanks.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes,
It's level funded all the way across.
Okay.
I must have printed it off and I must have not saved it and printed it. I haven't, you had it, like, yeah, I just noticed that.
Okay.
It's the same as last year. That's my error.
Any other questions? Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for the pictures, Kimberly.
Oh, you're welcome.
They were wonderful. I can't wait to the email before it.
Listers? Or-
Here's a breakdown pretty much of everything. And they're all part-time, there's no benefits, it's a very minimal budget.
Just 40 hours total.
So the pay increases are the cost of living, and then Chad was one of the people who needed it to be bumped up a little bit. Because he's not in alignment with other towns in this area. So that was pretty much it, but considering that we're not getting a contracted assessor, that's a huge, huge savings right there.
Yeah. And that's just where we're gonna sit with that? I guess when an assessment has to be done, they were contracting out for that anyways, so.
Yeah.
To do the full-time assessment. If anyone has any questions, I can ask them to attend the next meeting, but
Okay, I was they got quite a few machines in there, and I was wondering if they had any funds for maintenance on those, or repairs, or would it even go under their budget, or would that go under,
machines?
yeah,
What do you
like,
mean?
they have 3 PCs and a big scanner printer.
Those have all been updated, and those go under is it general expense budget? I think that,
Really?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right,
It's
fine.
all office supplies and everything's all grouped together under that one
Can I put mine in there?
What about,
budget.
what about
General
training? Do they have any training? I see they got
Yes.
travel and conference.
Yes, that is training.
3,000.
Okay,
Mhm.
Yeah, they have that.
Because they have all new people, and I know that Judy is very interested in learning as much as she can.
Oh, good.
Good.
It's a nice
well,
level.
when I went by today, she was,
Yeah.
on,
Good.
Yeah.
okay.
Good. General expenses?
I gave you a loose one, it was on top of the ones that you had to get flipped. So
That's the correct part. That's,
general expenses,
oh, here we are.
increase, I think, is like the telephone. I made a few increases, after seeing some of the actuals, and there was an additional line that I added, the Windham Solid Waste Management District assessment. It's typically at town meeting and is discussed, and everyone wants to not fund it.
Yep.
And it's not something that we can get out of, within, 2 years, and then the expense to the town to provide those services would be astronomical.
Ooh,
And as Bob had mentioned, at town meeting, a lot of towns just put it in their budget. And so that's what I did with this budget, I just included it in this budget.
Getting further and further away from trash talk at town
Yes,
meeting.
yes. As long as nobody's
That's
opposed to
good.
putting
Yes.
that line in the budget. I just thought that this would be
good
a
move.
good time to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it takes a major act by the town to even get out of it, so.
Yeah.
And it's always
years.
And I was hanging around with them and I looked at how much they increased the budget for everybody, and they started out going for 9, they were pushing for 7, kind of settled on 8% increase over last year, so they're thinking it through. I wiggled my way onto their finance committee to try to keep the prices down a little bit, so.
Yeah, there's a couple of lines I took a little bit from, but for the most part,
Yep.
other than adding that, there hasn't been much of an increase.
Yeah.
Overall, maybe an additional almost 5,000. We had an increase in the
I was
telephones.
gonna say, the telephones are not what they promised at the beginning.
Nope.
No, and that was in place before I came on board, so. I kind of inherited that. But other than that, I did look at the insurance and bonds, and we've never spent as much as has been budgeted. And so I figured I took a little bit off of that. Thought that would be safe.
What's the postage? Did stamps go up?
Yes,
Oh,
they're
okay.
always going up,
Okay.
and that's
I
why,
haven't mailed a, I don't even know.
and that's why I also added a
Costs.
couple
I don't even-
$100 for the next increase, because we know it's gonna
Yeah,
continue.
we'll be
I think it's like
mailing out one of
78
these guys.
cents.
78 cents.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It goes up at least once a year.
Yeah.
And so I just added a couple $100 on top of what the expense was, the actual expense for the last year.
So under website design and hosting, I'm assuming that's just hosting, they're not doing any design.
That's a
work.
contract that, no, they already did their redesign
Yeah.
last year. Or last year, actually.
Yikes. I got a deal.
Where does the county tax go? Is that a Windham regional thing? What is that?
It's a regional thing. Everybody pays county tax, we pay it in New Hampshire too.
Wonder where that goes, Windham County?
Yeah, to who? Who do you write the check to? I mean, where's it? Is it like, does it go to Windham Regional?
It's literally
No.
the county,
The
to
county.
cover county services and everything that is, organized and.
I'm
It
surprised
goes
it's that
to the
much in
county.
Vermont because we don't.
They're well hidden.
By county.
I know, because I said the same thing,
Like-
in New Hampshire, what the heck is this, and why are we paying it? It's a good chunk, but it's a tax that we have,
Okay.
same as the state, unfortunately.
Any other thoughts? All right, the next regular select board meeting will be November 18th. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. Board of Abatement tomorrow?
We are adjourned at 8:10.